What's going on YouTube? It's Phil here, back with another video. So this is 25 days here for me, just giving an update. So 25 days, no slip, slop, fap, apps or relapse for me. So that's actually not strictly true. So last night I had the closest I probably come so far to what I'd call a relapse. So there was a bit of M, if you know what I mean, very minimal, but it was there. So if you know PMO, the M, what that stands for in that. Um, and just being totally upfront and honest about what's going on. So there was no P, there was no O, a tiny bit of M, and it was just what's been going on the last sort of couple of days. I've been playing with Kundalini meditation. So, and as I've shared before, this isn't my first rodeo with SR. So I've done some previous sort of stints of this, and previously I played around with Kundalini energy. I've noticed when I was on a significant SR run that I'd feel all these sort of strange sensations, like electrical buzzing sensations coming up into my head, around the crown of my head, up my spine. I didn't know what it was. And then I asked a yoga teacher I know, a mentor of mine. He says, "Oh, that sounds like Kundalini." And then that set me on a little bit of a tangent and a rabbit hole. And I started learning a bit more about Kundalini and playing with that. And I think Kundalini energy and Kundalini awakening goes hand in hand with SR. And that's definitely been my experience. And I haven't had a Kundalini awakening or anything like that, but I've definitely felt what people describe as that energy coming up my spine and definitely into my head. I really feel it around the crown of my head and my scalp. It's just sort of like this buzzing, and and even in my throat sinuses, I get that too, and it will stay there for a long time, for hours sometimes even, and sometimes it will just pop up if I'm on an SR run. So it's probably a little bit early days for that. It usually only has happened previously when I'm at least 2 or 3 months in, probably around then, when I've had a decent amount of the practice. But I was trying to I think I was trying to force it a bit. I was playing with Kundalini meditation, trying to put on some Kundalini frequency videos in the background and see if I could access that energy again. But I just think it's too soon this time around in the process, and I was just trying to force it, and then I was getting frustrated because nothing was happening. And then I started to go, well, what if I just feel around downstairs, so to speak, and try and get my sexual energy to kick up manually, sort of manual stimulation, if you know what I mean, the M, and try and get the energy coming up through my spine. It's just a trap. Like, I was just trying to force it, and then I realized quickly what I was doing, and I stopped. I didn't get close to O. I wasn't edging, nothing like that. But I could see what I was doing, and it was getting me really frustrated. But I stopped. I just did a different meditation, and then I went to bed early. But that's probably the closest I've come to relapsing, if you want to call it that. So that's sort of what happened last night. But I'm still on the path, didn't edge, didn't O, didn't look at any corn. So happy that I was able to resist the urge, but still a little bit of a little bit unsettling that came up and that I let it go as far as I did. But I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I've learned never to beat myself up for anything, even if I do have a slip on this journey. Just sort of get back onto it and pick up where I left off. I don't think a slip is the end of the world, but obviously trying to avoid that, and I think I have so far. But just being honest, that's what happened last night. So it was not a little bit of a fumble, if anything, and not proud of it exactly, but not going to beat myself up and avoid shame around it, because I think, especially if you're talking about corn addiction, addiction in general is highly linked into shame, and you really want to avoid shame spirals, because that just triggers off a whole set of processes and emotions. Shame is something to be avoided, and there's no shame around any of this S3X stuff or having a slip or any of it anyway. There shouldn't be, although I know for some of us that's really hard. But yeah, shame is something to be conscious of and just to not fall into that trap. So still on the path, but just sort of getting current and honest. That's a bit of an update. So a little bit of a fumble almost last night. But that's what's going on. But I'm just going to avoid trying to force things. I'm not going to try any more Kundalini meditations explicitly. I'm just going to let that, if that's going to happen, if that's what's meant to happen for me on my journey at this stage, I'm going to let it happen sort of organically and naturally rather than trying to force things. I feel like I'm just trying to force the benefits a little bit too much and falling into that trap of, even socially or with like females at work, oh, is this lady responding to me differently? Are they noticing my energy? And then it's a quick sort of, trap to fall into with the female attraction and doing it for the wrong reasons. I'm really trying to do this for my own spiritual evolution, not for female attraction. I'm trying to do this to be on my path, on my purpose, energy management, so I'm not losing my energy to the things I shouldn't be and spending my energy on the things I want to be, which is my purpose, being on the good orderly direction, the God, God's path, not religious God. This isn't a religious channel. I'm not going to go all culty on you. This is just a spiritual journey one man's having. So don't freak out. No God bothering here. But yeah, I just thought I'd update you all with what's going on. But yeah, this morning I woke up a bit earlier because I had an early night. So feeling pretty rested. Did a normal meditation, my 20-minute meditation, was just in the moment, quite present. Was able to just be aware of thoughts and feelings as they come up. Was able to sit with the hunger as it came up. Did my gratitude journal. And yeah, just looking forward to a day at work. I've got to drop off my brother's blue blockers off to him after work because I mistakenly took them with me after I was at his house. So I stole his blue blockers. So I've got to return those. So I'll be doing that after work. But yeah, just a quick update. I thought I'd sneak one in before work. Things are going well, feeling quite grounded now. I've had that realization about that little sort of scare almost last night. Just updating you all where I'm at. So yeah, grateful for being able to share. We've got a few more subs on the channel now. Not that it's about subs, but it's great that, I'm really grateful if you are sharing this journey or if you're just curious about it. Definitely drop a comment below wherever you are on the journey. If you're thinking about it, if you're day 1, day 10, day 100, day 1,000, doesn't matter. Just drop a comment below. We're all in this together. It's great if we support each other. We're not alone on this earth. We're in this together. This is a communal journey. So be kind to your brother and your sister and just drop a comment below. Anything you're struggling with, any little wins you've had, just let us know where you're at. Drop a comment below, feeling grateful, feeling grounded, ready for the day, and I'll see you on the next video.